When I came to my sister's wedding with my son, she grabbed the mic and said, "I told you not to invite him. He's not family anymore." Then she turned her back and signaled security. One guard grabbed my wrist while the other pushed my son behind me. When my son reached for a cupcake from the kids' table, someone slapped his hand away and said, "That's not for outsiders." My uncle poured an entire glass of champagne onto my chair before I could sit and said, "The shame of the family always shows up right when things are going well." My brother smirked, clapped me on the back, and said to my son, "Take a good look, kid. That's what it looks like when a man throws his life away." I just smiled, but I didn't come empty-handed. Before I left, I quietly placed a small USB drive on the gift table. An hour later, my phone exploded with messages and missed calls. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. So I don't really post much on here. I lurk mostly for the memes and dumb DIY fails, Jill. But this is one of those things where you just go, is this real life? And I need to get it out, so whatever. Anyway, my sister Cassandra got married last weekend. Local venue. Not fancy, but like, she wanted it to feel like a big deal. And yeah, we're not close. Not since my divorce, which honestly nobody really handled well. But she's always had her opinions. About me, about my ex, about my son Remy. He's 9, and if you ask him, he's more into Minecraft than family drama. So, he's got the right idea. To give some context, Cassandra's been cold since everything went down 2 years ago. She said stuff to my face like I'm bad energy. Remy reminds her of everything that fell apart. She never liked my ex, but honestly, she acts like my kid is contagious. My mom, bless her, tries to keep peace, but it's like everyone just dances around the fact that Cassandra is a queen bee, and if you cross her, you get iced out. My brother Christian knows better, just quieter about it. Dad's tired of the drama, but acts like it's not his circus. So Cassandra sends this wedding invite to the family group chat, but pointedly not to me or Remy, like everyone else gets it. And she says in the chat, "Hope we can keep the day peaceful, just family, right?" So my mom asks me privately if I'm coming, and I say, "Look, I don't want to make it weird, but I'm not hiding either." She gets emotional, says she wants Remy there. So I say, "Fine, I'll go, but only if Remy's welcome." She promises it'll be fine. Day of, I'm already kind of tense. I put on a button-up that doesn't have a stain on it. Get Remy into something that passes for wedding nice. He whines about the shoes. Whatever. We get in the car. First weird thing. We walk in and the woman at the front desk just stares at me, checks her list, and then gives me this tight smile. I say, "Family of the bride, Miles." And she's like, "Oh right, table 7. But she says it like she's reading a warning label. I brush it off. Remy's just vibing with his Switch, not caring. We find our table, kind of in the back near the coat racks. Like I get it, but also damn. A couple cousins nod at us, but nobody gets up. My aunt Vanessa, she's always been Team Cassandra. Does that fake, "Oh, you made it," and then immediately turns to whisper to her husband. Classic. Remy asks if he can get a cupcake from the kids' table. I say, "Sure, don't go crazy, save room for food." He wanders over. I'm just checking my phone, pretending to scroll. And then I hear him go, "Ow!" I look up and Vanessa's daughter, never liked her, TBH, is standing by the table, hand up, and she says, "Those are for Cassandra's real family, not for outsiders." I walk over and I'm like, "You serious right now?" But she just shrugs, walks off. Remy's holding his hand, not crying, but his face is red. I tell him, "Don't worry about it, we'll get something later." Honestly, at this point, I should have bounced. But my mom comes over and gives me a hug, says she's glad we came, and I don't want to make a scene. I can tell she's stressed. She's got that look like she's about to cry if anyone pushes her. Dad won't meet my eyes, just says, "Good to see you," and goes back to the bar. Classic. Then we sit, or try to. I pull my chair out, and there's a full glass of champagne poured onto the seat. Just sitting there, puddle and all. And Uncle Edward, my dad's brother, always hated me for reasons I don't even know, but he's one of those guys who thinks he's hilarious. Just grins and says, "Shame of the family always shows up right when things are going well." I look at him. "You good?" And he just laughs, slaps my shoulder way too hard, and walks off. I grab some napkins, clean off the chair, because what else am I going to do, right? Remy sits next to me, dead quiet. I try to just zone out, doom scroll while waiting for dinner. But then Christian shows up, sits down and says, "Hey, take a good look, Remy. This is what it looks like when a man throws his life away." And I don't even say anything. I just look at Remy, and he's staring at the table, kicking his feet. Christian just smirks, gets up, ruffles Remy's hair, which he hates, and walks off. The whole time Cassandra's working the room, fake laughing with her new in-laws. She doesn't even look at me, not once. Finally, speeches start. The DJ calls for everyone's attention, and Cassandra grabs the mic. She looks around and then right at me, says, "I told you not to invite him. He's not family anymore." Then she just turns, waves at the security guys. Security, at a wedding, lol. And one grabs my wrist, not hard, but enough to make a point. The other pushes Remy behind me, like physically shoves him. Remy's caught off guard, almost trips. I hear a couple people mutter, but nobody moves. I look at my mom, and she's crying now. Like actually crying. Dad's nowhere to be seen. I shake off the guard, say, "We're leaving, don't touch my kid." He backs off, but the other one keeps between us and the cake table like I'm gonna rob it or something. Remy clings to my hoodie. I grab our coats, look at Cassandra. She just looks away, whispers to her new husband, who's not even paying attention, just scrolling on his phone. Now here's the thing. I didn't come empty-handed. See, a couple weeks back, Cassandra asked me to help her organize her wedding spreadsheet, because apparently I'm the tech guy in the family. I found a bunch of emails she'd left open, trash-talking half the family, including her new in-laws, and receipts for a bunch of stuff she put on the family credit card, which she swore was paid off by her new husband's parents but wasn't. I screenshotted it, dropped it on a USB drive, and figured I'd keep it for insurance, because honestly, with Cassandra, you never know. As we're leaving, I walk past the gift table. Nobody's paying attention. I set the USB down right next to the pile of cards. Don't say anything. Just walk out with Remy. Cassandra's laughing with her bridesmaids now, acting like nothing happened. We walk out. Remy's quiet, just asks if we can get burgers on the way home. I say, yeah, whatever you want. I'm pissed, but I keep it together for him. Literally an hour later, my phone starts going off. Texts, missed calls, some from numbers I don't even know. I don't answer any of them. Not yet. That's part one, I guess. I know it sounds wild, but I honestly couldn't make this up if I tried. If you want to know what was on that drive or what happened next, let me know. I'm not even mad about being kicked out. I'm just done playing nice with these people. Update 1. Okay, so I didn't plan to update this fast, but honestly, the way this blew up, IDK. I feel like I'm watching one of those reality shows, except it's just my actual family group chat melting down. So anyway, after I left the wedding with Remy, we hit the drive-thru. He got like 2 cheeseburgers. Ketchup everywhere. He's happy. I'm just replaying the whole thing in my head and wondering if I should have just thrown a drink in someone's face. And Al, I regret not doing it. I drop Remy at his mom's after. He's already telling her about the cupcake thing, and she's mad for him but kind of shrugs about the rest because yeah, she's seen my family do worse. I get home, plug my phone in, and it just starts buzzing like crazy. Group chats, missed calls, even a couple blocked numbers. At first, I think maybe someone's just mad I left, but then my cousin Sergio, who's usually just posting memes and sports takes, calls and he's like, bro, what the hell did you do? So apparently someone at the wedding found the USB. I guess people were doing the whole, let's open the cards after dinner thing, and Cassandra made some big deal in the speeches about a mystery guest, or whatever. So everyone's hyped, thinking it's some surprise from her friends abroad. Instead, my little flash drive gets popped into a laptop. Shout out to whoever still brings a laptop to a wedding. Wild. And suddenly all those screenshots and email drafts and the spreadsheet with the family card receipts are up on the projector. Like for real. In the main hall, in front of both sides of the family and half the guests. I didn't even label the files, but I guess someone just clicked through them all. So yeah, chaos. I get a text from my mom, just says, what is this? And then a bunch of question marks. Then my dad calls, but I don't pick up. Cassandra sends me like 5 messages, all caps, saying I ruined her day. She knew I'd pull something. She's going to block me everywhere. Then the cousin group blows up. People arguing about whose fault it is and who paid for what. I just put my phone on silent and go eat leftover pizza. Because honestly, not my circus anymore. But it gets messier. My Aunt Vanessa, the one who did nothing when Remy got smacked at the cupcake table, decides to call a family meeting on Zoom the next day. I show up, because why not? And it's just everyone talking over each other. Cassandra's crying. Her husband won't even turn his camera on. My mom is trying to play referee. Christian is just sipping from his mug and not saying anything useful. Uncle Edward is yelling about respect, like he didn't dump bubbly on my chair. Cassandra says I hacked her accounts. And I'm like, bro, you literally left your Gmail open and sent me half those receipts yourself. Everyone's yelling. But then her husband's dad, who I barely know, unmutes and goes, so who's reimbursing us for the venue add-ons? Our side didn't agree to those. And Cassandra just stares at the screen. Then the in-laws start arguing with each other. One of them calls Cassandra a liar. Another says the emails about their family were disgusting, and the chat just goes off the rails. My mom is crying again. Dad just leaves the call without saying anything. I mute, watch for a bit, then log off when it gets stupid. Meanwhile, my phone keeps blowing up. Some cousins say I went too far. Others are like, nah, she deserved it. Remy's grandma, my mom, calls and asks if he's okay. I tell her yeah, but she's not really listening. She just keeps saying she wishes things were different. Whatever that means. I'm not apologizing for anything. Then Christian texts me one-on-one, which he never does. He goes, you know you just made things worse, right? I say, for who? And he just leaves me on read. Classic. A couple people unfollow me on Insta, which is hilarious because I barely post. Cassandra's bridesmaids start posting stories about snakes in the family and fake brothers. I see it. I laugh. I move on. The real kicker is the money. Cassandra's husband's family is demanding receipts for every single thing she charged to the family card. Flowers, DJ, even the cake. Apparently she told them it was coming out of their wedding fund, but nope. She just used Dad's card and then said it was all covered by the in-laws. Now, both families are pissed and nobody wants to pay for the extra stuff. My dad texts me a screenshot of the bill, asks what to do. I just tell him to talk to Cassandra, not my problem. At this point I hear from Remy's mom again. She says someone from Cassandra's side messaged her to warn her about my behavior, like I'm some criminal. She blocks them. I laugh about it. But Tiba, it's getting old. Family chat is now a war zone. Cousins picking sides, aunts and uncles fighting over who enabled Cassandra. My parents are just trying to keep it off Facebook. Cassandra tries to text me again, says I'm dead to her and she hopes I never show my face at family stuff again. I send back a thumbs up and mute her. I guess the main thing is, nobody believes the whole story right away. Some of the older relatives think I faked the emails, or that I set her up. My mom asks for proof, so I send her the original messages Cassandra sent me, plus the screenshots. She doesn't reply. But then Dad texts, just says thanks, and that's it. Awkward as hell. Remy's not really asking about any of it. He just wants to know if we're still getting pizza on Saturday. I tell him we are. So yeah, this is where it's at. Cassandra's new family is mad. My parents are split. Half my cousins are blocking each other. And I'm just sitting here watching it all go down, eating cold pizza and not losing sleep. If you wanted drama, I guess you got it. I kind of wish it wasn't mine. But whatever. I'll update if anything actually changes, but for now, I think this is just the start. Feels like people are picking sides and nobody's gonna back down. Let me know if you want part 3. This is already wild, and I doubt it's about to calm down. Update 2. So I honestly thought the worst part was getting kicked out of my own sister's wedding with my kid, but I guess that was just the warm-up. It's like every time I think the group chat can't get more unhinged, someone finds a new way to make it about money. A few days after the wedding meltdown and the whole USB debacle, things get even dumber. It's like people suddenly remember that weddings aren't free, and someone has to pay for all the stuff Cassandra moved around on the family card. I'm just minding my own business, trying to get Remy to do his homework and not just watch Minecraft builds on YouTube. When my dad calls me, which he never does unless something's gone sideways, he sounds tired, no small talk, just says, "Have you seen the charges from the venue?" I check my email and yeah, there's an invoice, not small. My dad is CC'd, and there's a line about final payment overdue. Bunch of extras, late night snacks, photo booth, some open bar thing, extra flowers. I know for a fact Cassandra said her in-laws were covering the open bar. She made this big deal about it to everyone. Guess not. Dad says the venue is calling him now, threatening to blacklist the family for future bookings if it doesn't get paid. I tell him, look, I'm not paying for any of it, and neither should you. Talk to Cassandra. He just sighs, says she's not answering his calls. Mom texts me later, says she tried to call Cassandra too, but Cassandra hung up on her after like 2 minutes. Classic. Then Cassandra's new husband starts texting the family, asking who's handling the reimbursement situation. At first, he tries to be all polite, but it turns pretty quick. His dad jumps in, says they never agreed to the extra costs and want all unauthorized charges refunded. My Uncle Edward, still on his high horse after the whole champagne stunt, tries to blame me for the drama. Says if I hadn't humiliated Cassandra, none of this would be happening. I just reply with a link to the invoice and say, ask your niece who signed for it. After that, Christian finally chimes in, says I'm making things worse, asks why I can't just let it go for once. I tell him, maybe if any of them had my back when Cassandra was trashing me and Remy, I'd care more about their feelings. He doesn't answer. He never does when it's not about him. Then out of nowhere, Cassandra sends a mass text, says she's handling it and everyone should stay out of her business, which is hilarious, because 10 minutes later, the venue emails the whole family again, copy-pasting the payment reminder and saying that if they don't get paid in 3 days, they'll file in small claims. Dad gets mad, calls Cassandra. She hangs up again. I guess she blocked him after. Now the in-laws are mad at Cassandra for lying about the wedding fund. Her husband's mom writes this long post in their private family chat. Someone screenshotted it for me. Yeah, we're petty. Basically calling Cassandra untrustworthy and saying she never wants to see her again. I get another message from Remy's grandma asking if I can just be the bigger person and help smooth things over. Nope, not this time. I tell her she made her bed. She can lie in it. Then the real mess. The venue sends out a last warning saying unless the bill is paid in full, they'll take it to collections and ban any future bookings with the family name. Dad finally snaps, calls a family Zoom and just starts yelling. First time I've ever seen him that mad. He says nobody's bailing Cassandra out, and if she can't handle her own bills, maybe she shouldn't have spent so much. Cassandra logs in for like 2 minutes, slams the laptop shut, and that's it. Christian tries to calm things down, but nobody's listening. Meanwhile, Cassandra's husband's family starts pulling out. I hear they canceled the honeymoon booking. Someone saw her husband at the travel agency looking miserable. Classic small-town gossip. The wedding gifts from their side start disappearing too. Cassandra tries to guilt my mom into loaning her money, but mom says she can't. First time she's ever said no to Cassandra. Honestly, respect. Cassandra starts texting me again. Says I'm ruining her life and I should be ashamed. I just send her the screenshot where she called Remy not family and hit block. No regrets. I'm still getting texts from random relatives. Half of them want me to apologize. Half want me to send them proof of what really happened. I send the receipts, the emails, whatever. I'm not the one who lied or spent the money. Some people still don't believe it because Cassandra's always been the golden child and I'm just the messy one since the divorce. Whatever. I'm over it. At this point, the only people talking to me are my mom, awkwardly, Dad when he's mad, and Remy. Everyone else is just picking sides or staying out of it. Feels weird because even though I blew it all up, nobody wants to actually handle the fallout. Like they all want someone to fix it, but nobody wants to be the one to pay. The best part? The venue finally sends a notice saying the card on file bounced and the remaining bill is now Cassandra's responsibility. She tries to call me, but I don't pick up. She leaves a voicemail screaming, slams the phone down at the end. I delete it. Not my mess anymore. Last thing, Christian comes by my place unannounced, just walks in and says, "You're making things worse for everyone." I tell him, "Maybe if you all didn't treat me and Remy like dirt, none of this would have happened." He tries to shove me as he leaves. I block his arm. He slams the door behind him. Mature, right? So yeah, now Cassandra's on the hook for everything. Her in-laws are pissed. Her husband's barely talking to her, and everyone's frozen her out of the group chats. Feels like she finally got what she gave out for years. I know some people think I went too far, but honestly, I'm not sorry. Sometimes you gotta remind people you're not just there to take their crap. Looks like it's not even close to over. I'll update if the family finds a way to make it even messier. I wouldn't bet against it. Final update. So I guess I thought things would maybe cool down after the money drama, but nah, it just went sideways in a new direction. You'd think after getting called out in front of two families, Cassandra would lay low, but she's got this thing where she'd rather dig the hole deeper than just admit she screwed up. Classic. I started noticing a bunch of weird stuff, like my dad's name stopped popping up in the main family chat for days, which is not normal. My mom kept texting me random things, asking if Remy wanted to come over for dinner, then suddenly changing her mind. I'd get missed calls from numbers I didn't know, voicemails that were just muffled yelling, and then a hang-up. Even the neighbor across the street started asking, "Hey, everything good with your folks?" Because apparently they stopped walking the dog at their usual time. People gossip, especially around here. Then one afternoon, I see Cassandra's husband's car in my parents' driveway. I'm dropping Remy off and thinking, okay, maybe they're finally talking it out. But when I walk up, I hear shouting from the living room. Cassandra's voice, then her husband, then my dad all at once. Remy just looks up at me and shrugs. He's over it. I tell him to wait in the car and walk in. My dad's standing by the window, arms crossed. Cassandra's husband is on his phone pacing, and Cassandra's sitting at the table, not crying, just mad. Tight jaw, staring at the wall. I ask, "What's up?" And my dad just says, "Your sister wants us to pay." Cassandra's husband snaps that their family is embarrassed and he's tired of the whole thing being public. Turns out some of the stuff from the USB drive ended up in a group chat with a bunch of the groom's family. And now they're getting calls from out-of-town relatives asking if it's true she called her new mother-in-law a controlling cow. She did. She put it in writing. I saw it myself. My mom comes in, tries to calm everyone down, but Cassandra just stands up and says, "I'm not leaving until you pay the venue." My dad says, "You made your bed. You fix it." Cassandra tries to get in his face. My dad raises his hand like he's going to slap the table but stops. Cassandra's husband tries to grab her arm. She yanks away, slams the door, and stomps out to the car. Her husband follows, slamming the car door even harder. My mom just sits down, head in hands, not saying anything. Later that night, Christian calls. He's pissed about the family chat being full of drama. I tell him, maybe if you all stopped pretending nothing's wrong, there wouldn't be drama. He tries to blame me again. Says I should apologize for airing dirty laundry. I tell him, you all did the laundry. I just turned the light on. Then I start getting messages from people I haven't talked to in forever. One of Cassandra's old friends from high school DMs me, asks if the wedding really blew up. I just reply, "You have no idea." She sends back a laughing emoji, and then a screenshot of some group text where Cassandra's in-laws are roasting her for being fake and selfish. Apparently the in-laws are refunding some wedding gifts and the honeymoon's definitely off. Cassandra's husband's little sister posts a cryptic story about, "Some people don't deserve a second chance." Tags no one, but people figure it out. Then the real fallout hits. My parents get a letter from the venue, basically saying they're banned from future events until the bill is paid. My mom freaks out, starts calling Cassandra, gets ignored. Dad just shrugs and says, "Guess we're not doing Christmas there again." My Aunt Vanessa tries to host a peace dinner, but nobody shows up except her and her husband. She sends a group text afterward complaining about how nobody cares about family anymore. Cassandra tries to save face, makes a new group chat without me or my dad. Then accidentally includes Remy's mom, who immediately screenshots everything and sends it to me. Cassandra's trying to convince everyone that the USB was fake and that I edited the emails, but then someone asks her to show her actual inbox, and she leaves the chat. Her husband's family is now publicly saying they want nothing to do with her. I hear from a cousin that Cassandra's husband moved out, took his stuff to his parents' house, said he needed space. Apparently he's telling people he feels tricked and doesn't trust her. Cassandra's posting sad quotes on her story, then passive-aggressive memes about fake brothers. I don't reply. I just mute her. Remy's school sends home a fundraiser flyer, and he's more interested in that than any of them. He asks if he can still invite Grandma to his concert. I say sure, but don't expect too much. Family's weird right now. Then out of nowhere, my mom drops by with a bag of groceries. Says she's just checking in. She doesn't stay. Just leaves the bag on the counter and says, "Text me if you need anything." I think she's embarrassed, but I don't push it. I get one last call from Cassandra. She's yelling. Says I ruined her life. Says I owe her for making her a laughingstock. I just say, "You brought this on yourself." She hangs up. Then like 5 minutes later, she sends a voice note, but I just delete it. I'm not interested in hearing excuses. So yeah. Now Cassandra's locked out of most of the family chats. Her husband's gone, her in-laws want nothing to do with her, and my parents are just tired. Nobody's talking about the wedding anymore. It's just this awkward hole in every conversation, like everyone's pretending it didn't happen. Do I feel bad? Honestly, not really. Remy got treated like trash. I got humiliated, and nobody stood up for us. Cassandra wanted to make an example out of me, but I guess she forgot that I don't just roll over anymore. Everyone's still picking sides, but it's quieter now. Nobody's really won anything. But at least I know I stood up for myself and my kid. I don't know what's next. Family's broken in a new way, I guess. But maybe that's better than pretending everything's fine. If something else wild happens, maybe I'll update again. But for now, I'm just moving on. Thanks for reading if you made it this far. And if you're ever tempted to let people walk all over you just to keep the peace, don't. Sometimes you've got to let it burn.